In this day and age of mobile devices, it gets harder to see the trees to the forest. When it comes to mobile devices, there simply are a lot of options and it gets harder to pick which one is right for you. So today we discuss a brand that I can almost reliably say you have a good pick with that one. It is of course Poco, and today we are looking at the Poco X4 Pro. So let's discuss what is good about the device or what I would like to see a little bit different. Either way, let's jump into this full review of the Poco X4 Pro 5G. Now straight away from the get-go, there's a lot of things to like about the Poco X4 Pro 5G. To begin with, it comes with a micro SD, it comes with headphone jack support, it has a 67 watt charger included, and of course you get a 120Hz AMOLED display. So all of those things makes this already on paper a really solid phone. But there are always things to discuss. What is it like with the Poco X4 Pro 5G? Now to begin with, of course, when you look at the design, Poco has something where they always want to cover a bigger area when it comes to their logo and of course just the look overall when it comes to this. Now you might think that the camera then all of a sudden becomes like a flagship because it just looks like a bigger housing, therefore better result. While the camera isn't bad by any means, I don't think that's the right image for here, but overall I would have to say that the camera performs pretty well. It's a 108 megapixel resolution for the main sensor. Sadly though, an 8 megapixel resolution for of course the ultra wide, and then you have to use the stud sensor. We're not going to discuss that one. But either way, in terms of camera in daytime performance, I would have to say that Poco does a good job. I don't really have any issues here, and in terms of colors, I think they are doing a pretty solid job here as well. It is however sad to see that it is limited to 1080p and 30 frames per second. I would have liked to see that a little bit different, but there you go. Overall, for the price that you are paying, the camera is actually really good. I don't really have any issues here. And of course, if you do want to use that 108 megapixel resolution, you can. I myself noticed that I hardly ever do with any other phone that I've used so far. So, like the Poco M4 Pro, I think the display is one of the best selling features about the Poco X4 Pro. It is actually really solid. The 120Hz is smooth. Overall, it works well. Of course, sometimes you have judderings and so on, but overall, it's decently powerful enough. And of course, if you watch TikTok or you just Twitter a lot or your social medias, you won't notice any issues with the CPU. But if you are playing heavier games, you can tell that you're not dealing with a flagship chip inside or one of the faster generations. I think overall the chip is fine for your day-to-day use, but not for the most intense gaming or anything like that. What does help though, if you are playing a lot on your phone, that battery inside with a 5000 mAh battery, you easily make it to the end of the day. I really had no issues at all making it through the end of the day. And if you don't, well, then you get that 67 watt charger included with the phone itself. Now of course, it's no secret that Poco also uses MUI, and you're either a fan of that or not. For myself, I'm perfectly fine with it. I don't think it's the lightest skin out there, and it's something again that you can tell. It isn't the smoothest skin out there, but overall performance has been pretty solid apart from the small occasions of lag. So I think overall you won't really notice it. It's not a real bothersome, but it's definitely sometimes with occasion that you do notice some slight stuttering. So for who is this phone? I would say at the end, if you do like of course a camera that is solid for the price, if you want a really good display for the price, if you want great battery life, if you want features like of course micro SD up to 1 terabyte and of course the 3.5mm headphone jack, if you want 67 watt charging, and if you want 5G and you do more simple tasks on it, not the intense gaming, then this phone is definitely a really solid one. So if you are that person that uses the phone more regularly and just not for the intense gaming, the Poco X4 Pro 5G is definitely a phone I would recommend overall, especially for the price and the features that you get with the phone itself. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this short review of the Poco X4 Pro and what I think about it. Either way, hope you enjoyed, and of course if you don't know it yet, I have a new channel called Tech by Jermaine. check the link in the description where you can also find the review of the Poco M4 Pro, where we can discuss, of course, how that one performs. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video and talk to you guys in the next.